Wise Blood is one of my favorite artists. She's listed as an alternative or indie music artist, and a few of my favorite songs by her are Picture Me Better and Andromeda, which I actually wrote one of my college essays about. In March of 2023, my sister Katie, my friend Elena, and I decided very last minute that we wanted to buy tickets to this general admission show at Roadrunner in Boston. We weren't sure how busy it would be, but we were pleasantly surprised that we got very close to the front of the line, which meant we would most likely be front and center at Barricade. Naturally, I was very excited. I'd never been front row at a concert, let alone one of my favorite artists' concerts either. It was super cold outside the venue, and Roadrunner never seems to have any solutions for this. I wish they would put heat lamps or something outside. I always seem to be here during the winter, so it's very odd. But the cold only made me even more eager to get inside and start the show. Once we finally made it inside, we rushed to the front of the stage and waited for about an hour for the opener to arrive. And the opener was a whistler named Molly Lewis. Yes, she whistled for the entirety of her set. It was something I'd never experienced before, but I can assure you that it was one of the best performances I've ever seen. She was elegant and smooth with her whistling that I almost didn't want it to end, but it was finally time for Wise Blood to come on stage. I was ecstatic and I couldn't contain my excitement. But the ambiance of the show was slow and quiet, so I had to keep myself composed. The lighting was warm with yellows, reds, and oranges, and she was wearing a long, flowy white gown that made her look like royalty. Some of my favorite aspects of the whole concert were the candles and the candelabras that were scattered around the stage, and the glowing piece that she had placed under her dress, right next to her heart, to represent her heart, which was a reference to her most recent album called And in the Darkness, Hearts Aglow, which is easily one of my most favorite albums ever. I can go on and on about the actual stage or the visuals, but something that really struck me was when she played my favorite song, Picture Me Better. So Picture Me Better is a song that Wise Blood dedicated to her friend who committed suicide during the making of her album, Titanic Rising. The lyrics are nothing short of devastatingly sad, and they call for yearning somebody who is no longer with us. I had just lost my mom 2 months prior to this concert, and I'd already been a big fan of Wise Blood before her passing, but listening to it all now in this extremely vulnerable state of mind made me understand the lyrics and the meaning so much more. I remember holding my sister's hand while hearing the song play and carefully analyzing the lyrics, squeezing her hand harder with each new line. I've always been kind of embarrassed to cry in front of other people, especially when my best friend was right next to me. I never wanted it to seem like I was in a vulnerable state, but something about the exact time and place of this concert made me lose it. Absolutely lose it. When the lyrics, "We finally found a winter for your sweater, got a brand new big suit of armor. Since you've left, I've grown so much." It was almost ironic that this song had mirrored our exact experience. My mom had owned a buttload of sweaters, and in the peak of January, going through her old sweaters and choosing which ones we wanted to keep for ourselves to cherish her memory, it really did feel like I was picking out a new suit of armor. I let it all out, crying and letting myself get drowned by the music and speakers. I rested my head on my sister's shoulders as I looked up at her and realized that she was crying too. It was this kind of unspoken sadness we were experiencing that made it even more special, but such a hard feeling to wrap my head around. Luckily, we were in the front row, so I was grateful that nobody around me had to see me sob my heart out to this song, but my closest friend and my big sister. I don't know if I would have been able to do that otherwise, but throughout the rest of the concert, I still couldn't shake this feeling of sorrow and grief like I experienced during that song. And since that day, I've appreciated the ability for music to make people feel true emotions and let themselves be vulnerable. I can't wait for Wise Blood to go on tour again so I can listen to that song live once again. Thank you.